So I think those are some of the key issues that have to be addressed to make sure that the private sector is going to be growing the way it has to grow and innovation does occur. Access to finance probably is also an issue that's going to be important, of course, for startup and for innovative firms.
So, Mr. Jaitley, before I throw that to you, so obviously taking up on some of the points, physical infrastructure, I'm sure the government and many private sector companies will try to pick up. We've been talking a lot about skill development. But also, it's one thing to say that we should have a startup culture and all these new startups would come from. But if you were to talk to some of the people, I guess one of their major concerns would be one of the issues raised out there, regulation, hassle, that ease of doing business at the local bureaucracy level. You might want there to be an easier way of doing things. Prime Minister may want that.
As far as conventional industry is concerned, the old economy, I think these were very serious issues.
To the impurities.
And therefore, in the entire effort over the last few years to ease in the process of doing business, I think showing results, our rankings are going up, etc. I think we are concentrating on that. But this really has never been a problem as far as IT and the digital economy. I personally feel one of the reasons why India in a natural course accepted through the 90s, the late 80s and the 90s, and we grew well. And in the Silicon Valley, it was Indian entrepreneurs who went there. And some of our centers also became very prominent, that we never had a law regulating this. This was one area where no permissions were required. You didn't need the government. And therefore, as I see it, and this is what was stated in this startup campaign conference, I think we underestimated the kind of activity which is necessary. For instance, one example is that we planned the inauguration in the Vigyan Bhavan, and we thought about 2,000 people would attend. And 150,000 people put up applications saying, well, I am a startup, I want to be there. And when I went to this conference, my first reaction was, barring 4 or 5 people in the audience, I wouldn't recognize a single person. So these are not the conventional people who come for business meetings, etc. It was a completely new India altogether. Some of them have already found solutions to some very complicated issues. A very large number of them who made presentations came from small towns and then went to some engineering college and then have emerged as entrepreneurs. And I think there's a huge potential for India. And in innovation, I said it there, so I don't mind repeating it. I said one of the first conditions they require is freedom from the state. So you don't require an interference of the state governments or the municipalities or the central government at any stage. We need to create an environment in terms of making capital available to them. We need to have wherever strengthening is required, a good IPR regime. Now, these are the roles which a state will have to perform. We must keep one fact in mind, that we have a very large population. And therefore, conventional economy in India, the old economy, cannot absorb all these people, whether in government or in the private sector. And therefore, you will have to find innovative methodologies of creating economic activity. So your startup campaign is one campaign. The other campaign we've decided, which is actually going to be implemented now in the next few months, is people belonging to the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and women. So every branch of every bank has been told that in both the categories you have to adopt one person each and create an entrepreneur out of them, and a certain amount of loan facility must be instituted. One of the great schemes, creating new small traders, businessmen, entrepreneurs, the Mudra scheme, has so far had a good success in the last 4 to 5 months. So you are eventually, when the scheme gets rolled over to year after year over the next 3-4 years, you'll have crowds of people making use of that bank finance in order to become self-employed small entrepreneurs. There are small amounts, shopkeepers, traders, some small unit, etc. So India will have to now create these alternative mechanisms along with the conventional economy, because the world is seeing the limitations of that conventional economy.
But Mr. Chambers, if India is to become one of the innovation hubs of the world, India is going to become the area where the next Apple, the next Google, the next Facebook, the next one of these companies Microsoft, Cisco. One of these companies is to now come out of India, and it should. It's long overdue. Companies that should be coming out of India, preparing products that you India has many global companies providing services and other things, but products like that which can then resonate with everyone all over the world. What to your mind would be required in addition to what the planet is?
Communication is an integral part of life. Anything that we need, we should be able to communicate. Difficulty in communication is there from their birth. They don't know how to put it in words and say that this is not their good day, this is not they want.
I live here with these kids, and I know that that these kids are going through a challenge of telling that I want to go to the toilet, and I'm hungry, or even I'm thirsty. So my wife, who works with these kids, she's a speech therapist. One day she told me,
What to your mind would be required in addition to what the planet is?
If you put in place a true broadband infrastructure for 1.3 billion people and make it inclusive, startups will occur in every segment of the industry, from healthcare to manufacturing to education, and you begin to create an environment where it feeds on itself. I think the world wants to bet on India. So I think if you create an environment where your political parties work reasonably closely together, if you truly build out a broadband infrastructure, which will be the highways for all these new startups, regardless of which industry it is in, and you create a regulatory environment that makes it relatively easy to do business in India, I think you'll see the funds come in. We've already bet on it. Probably my next trip to India at another $100 billion, and we get $50 billion overseas. It isn't getting invested. So I think you all control your destiny. So you understand this maybe you are doing better than I did, because this is the entrepreneur highway for every industry that you're building out. If you had a democracy, you had intellectual property, and you had 1 million people in power. That's a market that's anywhere else. How would you argue?
Vikram raised a very important point. For nearly a decade and a half, 2 decades, we've seen some fantastic IT companies emerging from India, TCS, Infosys, Wipro. But by and large, they have produced a lot of programmers, population. By 2020, India will have 5.2 million programmers, which will be more than US now. I mean, currently we are just short by, I think, 500,000 less than US. So that industry, that will serve the whole world in terms of the requirement of IT programming is settled and done. I think what the point he's raising is, which has also been a question on my mind and many others, why India has not been able to produce an Apple or a Google or a Facebook
Or a Cisco.
Yes, or a Cisco. Whereas China has been able to do so. I think the answer is very clear. China blocked all foreign companies, not Cisco, but many Facebook, Google, etc. were blocked for a long period of time before Chinese local champions emerged. WeChat, Tencent, Alibaba, and now they are but they are solid Chinese. India didn't get that benefit so far. But what India has done very well is it very quickly got onto the bandwagon of being copycats. So you have Oyo Rooms, which is mirroring now Airbnb and very successful. You have Ola Cab, which is fighting which is good. It's not bad to be copycats in the digital world. You quickly bring solutions to the market, get them out there, and be very, very successful. But the next wave that is going to come now is going to be building new products. It's going to come in the area of design. We may not end up manufacturing chipsets for the next 5, 7, 8, 10 years because that's a long lead time. We may not have another Cisco, but the parts of Cisco, design, the architecture, the engineering that happen in India, much more than the software piece. The good news is most of the electronics, Vikram, that we are seeing now, 60-70% of the value of an Apple iPhone is in software, not in hardware. I think that battle will keep on going. Every country will want to manufacture more and more in their own home base. That fight is out there to be fought. But I think within that, there's a space for India, which is in the area of software development, not necessarily body shopping or providing programmers.
Point here about some of the stress that there is in the system of banking. Are you